Persona 4 Golden is a remake of the social simulator / JRPG Persona 4. It was developed and published by our Lord and Saviour Atlus, and was released in 2012, 4 years after the original title. The game includes a few extra features including new personas, some new characters, and a few more cutscenes to extend upon the original experience. Whilst Persona 4 was released on the PS2, Persona 4 Golden was released for the PS Vita, adding to its extensive library of, I think it's about like 3 games now? But there's only one way to reach out to the truth on the Canipa show, and that's to break it down. See, the joke was that the battle theme in Persona 4 is called Reach Out to the Truth. Persona 4 is split into 2 parts, the dungeon crawling and the social sequences. To progress through the game efficiently, you will need to do both of these. Firstly, let's talk about the dungeon crawling, a core part of the Megami Tensei RPG experience. Taking on the role of the protagonist and his friends, you venture through these dungeons, fighting off enemies until you get to the boss. Super simple stuff. But the cool bit isn't the dungeon exploration itself, that's usually fairly basic. The cool bit is how you fight off the creatures on the way, and how you deal with the boss. All of the characters in your 4-person party have what is called a persona. Each persona is different with different elemental powers and stats, so it's up to you to combine the characters into a proper fighting team, making sure you have a healer and a wide range of different elements in order to take out whatever types of enemies stand in your way. And you better choose well. Unfortunately, due to the nature of leveling up in RPGs, the chances are that you're going to end up picking the same 3 characters every time, leaving all the rest to become quickly underleveled. But that doesn't mean that every fight will be the same. Even though all your companions only have one persona, the protagonist, being the OP motherfucker that he is, has the ability to hold many different types of personas. So don't worry, you won't have to just use your persona Izanagi all the time. You are completely free to use the demon Mara to violate your opponents. These personas can be acquired from fighting off these shadows that you find in dungeons, so even though there's absolutely nothing stopping you from just walking past them, you're going to want to fight these things and ultimately build up a library of different types of personas that you can switch between during battle. Have I mentioned that this is cool? Because of this, you have a level of customization where you have the power to build your skill set based on a whole team of personas that you can cycle through at will. Now I know what you're saying.
Canipa, this game is amazing, but how do I get extra strong personas?
Whilst the other members of your party level up at the same rate as their personas, the protagonist doesn't level up at the same rate as his, with his personas taking forever to level. So that's where fusion comes in. You have the ability to fuse several personas that you pick up together to create even stronger personas of a higher level. That is great! Whilst you still need to level up the protagonist up to the level of the persona you're trying to create, it still keeps the game fresh, with a whole new set of skills to use every so often, and sometimes even a whole different playstyle that you need to adapt to. There's even a way that these fusions can create personas that are so powerful that they even outlevel the protagonist himself. A system that takes the basic rule of you can only create personas of lower or equal level and turns it on its head. This is the social link system. Persona 4 takes place over the time period of a year. Now usually this sort of information is irrelevant to the player, but time management— Fuck, I have class! Shit, gotta go. Okay, so timed management is important here. Each day is split into 4 sections: morning, afternoon, after school, and evening, with a couple more added for special events. That sounds like a load of time, doesn't it? Wrong! Just like in real life, you will end up using most of this time at school, since learning maths is apparently more important than saving the fucking world. Persona 4's dungeons are large and require a number of visits to complete, therefore it's important to plan out which days you'll be going dungeoneering beforehand. You might as well go every day, right? Wrong! Again! 2 out of 10, try harder next time. It's time to make some goddamn friends. Each time you spend time with a certain character, you build up what is called a social link. This social link levels up to 10 and takes quite some time to complete, so you will also need to plan these out as well. So when you go to fuse a persona that corresponds to the friend you've been talking to, you get an experience bonus based on your level of friendship with them. Grinding? Fuck that! Who needs grinding when you can get massive experience boosts just from following the stories of these characters? This is brilliant. Not only does it make the time management system more significant, giving the game an extra layer of depth, but it also ties the gameplay and the story together. Oh yeah, this game has a story, doesn't it? Like many JRPGs, the narrative is a central part of the Persona 4 experience. As the protagonist, you move from the big city to the rural town of Inaba. After a short sequence of events involving handshakes, murders and a swift kick to the bollocks, you discover your ability to enter televisions and explore the strange world inside and solve its mysteries, such as, how does a midget get hired as a professional chef? You quickly realise that the murders are actually related to the television world, and you work together with your friends to save everyone that's been thrown in. Simple, just go in, pick them up, give them a lift home. And fight off humanity's fears, worries and trauma. Wait, what? Come on, this is a Megami Tensei game. You didn't expect it to be all happy and flowery, right? These shadows reflect humanity's negative emotions and inhabit these dungeons. Each person who gets thrown into the TV is faced with their shadow self that confronts them with their dark secret, their true self. Their desires, their fears, their secrets, everything that they've been hiding comes out and hits them in the face. Or more accurately, turns into a giant powerful shadow that you need to defeat. This is called facing yourself, and all the members of the investigation team need to come to terms with the truth in order to get their persona, except the protagonist, who once again is OP as fuck. This is the power to face life's hardships, or more literally, beat the shit out of shadows. The investigation team all gets this power to save everyone thrown inside the powers? Saving superhero? Liam, I did it! I made a superhero month video!
Wait, you can't do that! It's not even May anymore!
Oh. Now I've said truth a lot here. Well, 4 times. That's because Persona 4 is literally all about the truth. This ties into all the other aspects of the game, more importantly, the television sets. As you start, the televisions are purely an aesthetic choice, and their purpose in the plot is not actually explained, merely being a way to get into the other world. However, once again, this is a Megami Tensei game. Symbolism is everywhere. You ever see an over-sensualized celebrity gossip report on TV that's not quite true? Maybe you watch a video game tutorial and you can't accept that it's the truth, and apparently I'm wrong because I thought that Elder Scrolls Online was trash and beta. You just couldn't face the truth, could ya? Well, look who's laughing now. How about these characters? Let's talk about them. You're going to be spending a lot of time interacting with them, so we might as well talk about them. The social link system is very important here, and whilst from the outside it may just seem like a make friends mechanic, it's so much more than that. Persona 4 features a lot of drama, whether teenage or otherwise, but it's crafted very well, and is shown from a very specific perspective as a high school student. The protagonist that you play has no real default personality. Even the anime Persona 4 The Animation parodied this in a sense. This means that the other characters don't have much direct interaction with you, instead talking about themselves. Is this how you make friends? No, because this isn't a make friends mechanic. This is all about spending the time to listen to your friends and help them overcome life's problems, even if it means having to listen to Ayane whinge about how she is shit at playing the trumpet. These are the bonds that Persona 4 values. Each character's story and the way you interact with them is unique. Some might be members of a sports club that you need to join to be able to interact with. Others might just be citizens of a town that you can meet up with a couple of times a week. So you can see how the social link system combines the narrative, the interactions, and the time management system to create this interactive experience that trumps the traditional visual novel style. If you play Persona 4 Golden, you actually get 2 new social links, one of which being from a brand new character, giving the player more options for what to do with each day. However, don't be expecting to see much more of these characters once you've maxed out their social link. For instance, you get the strength social link from joining either the basketball or football clubs. But once you're done with that, you kinda hardly ever talk to them ever again. Or go to the club. Or even acknowledge their existence. Wow! The main character's kind of a dick. Graphically, Persona 4 is a mixture, especially when you bring Persona 4 Golden into it. The game comprises of 3 different visual styles, all used for different situations. The 3-dimensional basic style used pretty much everywhere involved in the dungeon exploration and just plain wandering about. The visual novel aesthetic style during character interactions, and for those who like anime, fully animated cutscenes. They are used sparingly and only in key scenes, but there's really some value to that. The TV world is definitely one of the more interesting parts of the game aesthetically. The first dungeon is based around Yukiko, a girl who feels that her life is outside of her control. Her shadow self represented this by playing the role of a princess looking for a prince to take her away from her dull life. So the dungeon that you need to fight your way through is a castle. It makes sense in the context of the narrative and makes the dungeons more interesting to go through. I said earlier that the shadows reflect humanity's emotions, and this is shown by their designs. So does this tank represent A. the terrors of war, B. fear of metallic objects, or C. a tank? A. the terrors of war, probably. Each shadow has an element of symbolism to it. Atlas didn't just decide, oh that looks cool, there's actually a lot of depth to the designs. The other significant style, the animated cutscenes, were also very well done. Persona 4 Golden adds quite a few of these, but the base game still had some. However, whilst these were a welcome change, the animation was very basic. In comparison to Persona 4 the animation, the anime cutscenes here just seem kind of bland. But then that's definitely a personal preference thing. It doesn't take away from the experience at all, but you might feel that it could have been a bit more engaging. Persona 4 is a Megami Tensei game. The Persona series is one of the many spin-offs of this franchise. So the question here is, does Persona 4 respect the ideas of both the Megami Tensei franchise as well as the Persona series? Is this worthy of being a part of these series? Yes. Megami Tensei means rebirth of the goddess in English, inferring religious undertones. Demons and global mythology always plays a part in these games, whether it involves battling them or recruiting them to your party through conversation options. Whilst the Persona series hasn't included demon recruitment since the Persona 2 games, the demons are still involved. Whilst they're not explicitly referred to as demons, Persona 4 gives you the ability to integrate them into your party as one of your many persona. Like previous games in this sub-series, the idea of an ethereal manifestation of your personality rising up to defend you from life's hardships is consistent. However, what makes Persona 4 unique is the way that you get your persona. In Revelations Persona, the first game in the series and the introduction to the concept, the characters get their persona through playing the Persona game, which was based on the occult high school rumours, which is actually a theme in the next game, but that's probably for another video. In Persona 3, you summon your persona by shooting yourself in the head. I just want to clarify, shooting yourself in the head in real life doesn't give you a super cool demon bro. It gives you a bullet in the head. Not nearly as fun. But in this game, Characters receive their persona by facing the truth and going through a revelation. By facing your true self and accepting it, you then get the power to face life's hardships, a mask if you will, although that symbolism isn't as prominent in recent titles. I actually think that this idea of facing yourself makes for a way better transition and actually gives a better context to this power that's not just the cliche mysterious figure awakening it. Now poor Philemon lives out his life as a save point.
So, these are thumbsticks here, move your character. If you click X over here, talk to someone. Do I even need to talk about the controls for an RPG?
Shoji Meguro is a genius. The music of Persona 4 is excellent. Each dungeon is defined by its soundtrack, and despite it being the same track for an entire area, it never feels repetitive, it never gets old, it always just blends back into the experience. The music follows the tone of the situation at hand. Something mysterious happened? Play mysterious music. It may sound basic, but it's something that is done really well. The voice acting is also really well done, with each character sounding like you think they would. For example, Ayane is an annoying brat, so she sounds like one.
Senpai!
Say senpai one more time. I dare you, I fucking dare you!
I'm sorry.
Some voices have been changed for Persona 4 Golden, and whilst I do prefer the original voice actors, there isn't much to it. Whichever version you choose to play will define what that character sounds like to you. Although, original Chie is best Chie, and I will fight anyone who disagrees on the streets. You're sitting down for a long game here, with both versions being around the 70-hour mark to complete the main story. Although if you want to max out everything and fill up your Persona compendium, you're obviously going to be spending a lot more time with it. Persona 4 Golden's new content does not add to the overall playtime of the main story, instead giving you more options of what to do with each day, something that I feel you will find very valuable when trying to manage your time. The game does have a new Game Plus feature, which offers the ability to bring over some things from your previous save. It also gives you the ability to adjust the various difficulties for things such as XP dropped, money dropped, and damage dealing to create your own challenge. However, Persona 4 is a narrative game, so it will be difficult trying to justify replaying it. But it seems we've said all that we can, and all that's left is the final score. Actually, I've been giving game scores for a while now, but I think I've found a better way to wrap this all up. How about a new system? Now this is better! Persona 4 is a rad game. It offers an extremely compelling narrative that encourages you to make emotional connections to the characters in-game and out. And Persona 4 Golden is an even better version, offering many features to the game that enhance the experience. I recommend Persona 4 for fans of JRPGs. This is a no-brainer. If you are comfortable with turn-based combat, there should be nothing stopping you from enjoying this game to its fullest. I would also recommend it to anyone who enjoys getting invested into a story. This isn't a pick up and put down game. As dumb as it might sound, if you're going to play Persona 4, get ready to actually start to feel attached to these characters. Also, if you have a PS Vita, PS3 or PS2, you should have really played this already. If not, go and buy it. Take out a bloody mortgage for all I care, just play the goddamn game. However, I would not recommend this to you if you don't have much time on your hands. If even playing Persona 4 Golden on a Vita whilst you're on the train is too much, then I'd hold off. Wait until you truly have the time to invest and play through it in a relatively short space of time. I don't think you'll enjoy the game nearly as much if you spend a year playing it on and off. Thank you for watching the Canipa show, and thank you even more for sticking through this entire video. It was a long one, I'll say that. Persona 4 and Persona 4 Golden are my favourite games, and I felt that they deserved the full coverage. If you want more on Persona 4, I have a review of its anime adaptation, Persona 4 The Animation. You can also watch the character spotlight I did with the encyclopedia of Naoto Shirogane. And a really big thank you to Jack Bros and Liam for cooperating in this video. They are stars, and because they are stars, I've put their latest videos in them. Jack recently made a video on Rocco's Quest, a game that is absolute shit. So for those that like shit, watch this video. Wait, I mean the game is shit. The video is really good. Just fucking watch it. And Liam is doing a superhero month on his channel where he's doing videos on superhero games. Superhero month seems to last a quarter of the year, so you can still go to his channel and subscribe ready for the next video. For now though, you can watch his list on the top 5 superheroes that need their own game. Just click on those links. For this end card, I want to show off a video from Adam McDermott. This video on Uncharted 2 Among Thieves documents Adam's progression as he tries to get a platinum trophy. The presentation and commentary is brilliant, and I definitely recommend that you give it a watch.